Hi friends, how are you? I hope everything goes well with you. Today, our group will present the results of our discussion about business companies. Before that, let me introduce our group first. Our group consists of Nicholas Krishnamurti, Tirsa Novalita, and Angger Birulangit. And now, let's start our presentation. Happy watching! Definition of business. A business is defined as an organization or enterprising entity engaged in commercial, industrial, or professional activities. Definition of company. A company is a legal entity formed by a group or individuals to engage in and operate a business, a commercial, or industrial enterprise.
Characteristics of a company. A company as an entity has many distinct features that together make it a unique organization. The essential characteristics of a company are the following. Number 1. Separate legal entity. Under incorporation law, a company becomes a separate legal entity as compared to its members. Number 2. Limited liability. The liability of the members of the company is limited to contribution to the assets of the company up to the face value of shares held by the third party. Number 3. Perpetual succession. A company does not cease to exist unless it is specifically wound up or the task for which it was formed has been completed. Number 4. Separate property. A company is a distinct legal entity. The company's property is its own. A member cannot claim to be the owner of the company's property during the existence of the company. Number 5. Transferability of shares. Shares in a company are freely transferable, subject to certain conditions, such that no shareholder is permanently or necessarily wedded to a company. Number 6. Common seal. A company is an artificial person and does not have a physical presence. Number 7. Capacity to sue and be sued. A company can sue or be sued in its name as distinct from its members. Number 8. Separate management. A company is administered and managed by its managerial personnel, for example, the board of directors. Number 9. One share, one vote. The principle of voting in a company is one share, one vote. For example, if a person has 10 shares, he has 10 votes in the company.
Types of company. A company can be classified into various types, depending upon the following requirements. Classification of companies by mode of incorporation. Royal Chartered Companies. These companies are formed under a special charter by the monarch or by a special order of a king or a queen. Few examples of Royal Chartered Companies are BBC, East Indian Company, Bank of England, etc. Statutory companies. These companies are incorporated by a special act passed by the central or state legislature. These companies are intended to carry out some business of national importance. For example, the Reserve Bank of India was formed under RBI Act 1934. Registered or incorporated companies. These companies are formed or incorporated under the Companies Act passed by the government. These companies came into existence only after these are registered under the Act and the certificate of incorporation is passed by registration of companies. Classification of companies based on the liability of the members. The registered companies can be classified into the following categories based on the liabilities of the members. Companies limited by the shares. These companies have a defined share capital and the liability of each member is limited by the memorandum to the extent of the face value of shares subscribed by him. Companies limited by guarantee. These companies may or may not have a share capital and the liability of each member is limited by the memorandum to the extent of the sum of money she or he had promised to pay in the event of liquidation of the company for payments of debts and liability to the company. Unlimited companies. There is no formal restriction to the amount of money that shareholder or member of the company has to pay in the event of the liquidation of an unlimited company. Classification of companies based on the number of members. Public company or public limited company. A public company is a corporation whose ownership is open to the public. In other words, anyone can buy the share of a public company. There are no restrictions to the number of members of a public company or the transferability of shares, with a few restrictions according to the country. Private company or private limited company. A private company cannot be owned by public and it restricted the number of members, the right to transfer its shares, and prohibits any invitation to the public to subscribe for any share or debentures of the company.
I think that's all from us. Thanks for your attention. Goodbye.